Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Chris Schobel. I'm head of school here at Ashbrook, and it's my pleasure to present to you an opportunity to get to know Mr. Olson a little bit better and to understand a little bit more about what he does in the art room. The inspiration for what you're about to see really comes from my almost daily conversations with Mr. Olson, walking into his classroom and spending some time with him. Every time I spend time with you, I think I've told you this, I learned something from you. Mr. Olson has been here for 22 years and has wanted to teach art his entire life. I have actually an artifact here that proves that. This is a picture of Mr. Olson when he was a child dreaming about teaching art. And I thought that it might be a nice idea to give you a little bit of visibility into what I get the privilege of seeing every single day. So with that, we're going to start with a very simple question. I want to ask you, Mr. Olson, why is it important to teach art at Ashbrook School?
All right, remember that the arts include all the visual arts, music, drama, culinary arts, and even dance. These disciplines represent some of our oldest cultural institutions and comprise a critical part of what it is to be human. If a civilization doesn't have a vibrant visual and performing arts scene, it's not worth living in. All the parents who have decided to send their kids to school at Ashbrook have chosen to do so partly because they value the arts and the contribution that they make to their kids' lives.
Eric, can you tell me what the secret sauce is, what you and Mr. Hoagie and Ms. Sam do to build connections between the arts and students here at Ashbrook School?
We build our schedule from preschool all the way through 8th grade to include as much art, music, drama as we can. In all of their regular classes, they practice arts and crafts and they sing and dance. Because we have them for so many years, we can ensure that information and skills are compounded over time, one year on top of the next. We do this by teaching them to not merely observe the world around and inside of them, but to engage with it creatively.
So a lot of people end up confusing arts and crafts, or arts and crafts, with art and art making. What is it that you and Mr. Hoagie and Ms. Sam do to distinguish between arts and crafts? What is the special power of arts versus arts and crafts?
The world needs creative thinkers, and as humans, we crave creativity. It's very fulfilling for us. The trick is to create a system that doesn't squash the natural creativity out of kids. To this end, we have to dare kids to take risks, to flex that creative muscle, so to speak. Creativity is very strongly correlated to play. A lot of people think that play is bad, work is good, but in truth, play is the work of being a kid. That is your job. And we want them to work and be creative, but to have fun and to be mischievous and to just have a good time while they're doing it. The closer it resembles play, the more successful it will be.
So Eric, you talked a little earlier about the difference between arts and crafts. Do you have an example that you can share with us that would make this distinction a little clearer?
Yeah. So one story I always tell people when they're asking about that is reminding them about how they were when they were kids working with Legos. Usually the Legos come in little kits. They're going to make a house, or you're going to make a Star Wars character, and you follow the directions carefully, and you have at the end this perfect model of a house or a car or a Lego Star Wars thing. But at the end of that, most people take all the pieces and take them apart and put them in a box, and they stir through the box, and they get to invent whatever they want to. And that's truly the art part. So building the model, that's the craft. And then playing with all the Legos with no directions, nobody telling you what to do or how to do it, that is the art part. And what we're trying to do is give the kids an opportunity to use that art part of their brain and pull it apart from the craft side of their brain. It's really important because in a school that's like this, and as they grow up, everything can start to feel competitive, like you have to be the best at this and the best at that, and there is absolutely no way that you can win art.
One of the things I've always wondered about as I look at the great variety of art down on the commons here on the windows, I look at that all and I think to myself, there's no way I could have done that when I was that young. The work that you have our kids do is just amazing, and I would have been intimidated, I would have been overwhelmed. I'm wondering, where do they get their courage from? How do you manage to encourage them, literally?
Well, it is intimidating for a lot of people, especially if they haven't done a lot of this stuff before. But remember, our kids are starting off in pre-K and kindergarten, being asked to do a lot of really wild, creative experiments. And they kind of get used to that. In music class, they get asked to get out on stage and perform in front of an audience fairly regularly. So they lose a lot of those inhibitions that at least I had when I was younger. And like you've said, you were a little bit nervous about that when you were younger too. We are using painting, drawing, and ceramics to build an understanding that we are all focused primarily on the process of doing the work that we're doing, not being in love with some final outcome. We're not in love with what we make on stage or on the wall downstairs. We are in love with the process of making this stuff. And what most of the kids can't wait to do when we finished a project is just to start another project. So instead of being nervous about looking bad or feeling poorly about what you've produced, you're just excited to see what the process did this time, and then what will you do next time to make it even better.
So Eric, could you tell me a little bit more about what you and the other art specialists do that make art such an important part of the Ashbrook experience?
Every project that we do, all the parts of the curriculum are designed around the kids learning these careful, crafted creativity exercises using storytelling, silliness, playfulness. We build all this stuff kind of at the same time. But that's not all of what we're teaching. We're also getting into the character traits that you might have seen out every month. We have a character trait of the month. The kids do it with their buddy times up and down lower school to middle school. And in art and in music and in drama, we talk a lot about all these different character traits and how people work with them in their real life and how it works out for them. When we put it all together, the rest of the school calls it character education. We just call it art class. We do it part of all day, every day in all of the different classes. And combined with their core one academic classes, plus their PE, plus their language classes, we call that whole experience for the kids the Ashbrook experience. And I'm pretty proud of what we've been able to create over the last 22 years.
Clearly, the Ashbrook experience is a part of everything we do here at Ashbrook. Can you talk a little bit about how the classes work together in that regard?
The trick is that arts and the other subjects help make reading and writing and math better. As the kids develop, their minds get sharper, but not just doing math. They would actually not get better at math. There's a lot of data to support that. They're better if you give them a little bit of math and a little bit of music. Their brain develops more and they become better at both music and at math. That's true in the arts. If you want a kid to read and write above grade level, have them do more painting and drawing, creative work. But also, the benefit to me, is that the kids who do a lot of reading, and Ashbrook kids do a lot of reading, they're better at art. The kids who at Ashbrook are really good at math, they're better at music. So it all around works fantastic for everybody. It makes the experience better.
So thank you, Mr. Olson, for spending some time with us this evening to talk to us about the arts and how you and your colleagues work so hard to make it such a special part of the Ashbrook experience.
Well, thank you for asking all these questions and giving me a chance to explain things to the audience. I know that myself and all the other specialists really appreciate working at a school where the parents clearly value this kind of an education, and they value what we do, and we feel it every day, and we really enjoy working with the kids. So it's a great pleasure.
I just wish everybody had a chance to see what I get to see every day. Thank you for being here and for taking the time to talk to us.
Of course. Thank you.